Make a lot of noise. Woo! Alright, today we're going to be talking about speed ramps. How's it going, everyone? I'm Aaron Datu. Welcome to another wedding walkthrough Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about speed ramps. So for wedding films in particular, I don't really use speed ramps too often, mainly because it's not really fits wedding films that I create. If anything, I will use speed ramps maybe for like the dancing part, just because it's more upbeat and you could probably get away with all the like speed ramping of people like they're going jumping up and down, and then it slows down when they're going up, and then it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And also you got to be very much more I guess like know your couple, and if they are one of those very much party people, then you might want to incorporate speed ramps if they are requesting that, or if they do see a wedding film that does have that, try to have their personality ingrained into that film. But you'll see a lot of speed ramps used in like just b-rolls, like videos, like those cinematic b-roll sequences, or like travel films, like stuff like that. Other than like, you don't see it a lot in wedding films, and there's a reason for it. I mean, it's not really a wedding kind of thing, but outside of weddings, it's used a lot in like product videos, or it's just like workout edits, stuff like that. So knowing how and when to use a speed ramp is very much a crucial part in not overdoing it. So in terms of frame rate, you definitely want to shoot anything above 24 frames per second, or else you won't really get that speed ramp effect. I usually shoot 60 frames per second at max. I don't really shoot 120 when it comes to wedding days, but outside of wedding films, like just creative projects, or just whenever I feel like wanting to edit something together, I will usually shoot in 120, just so I have a lot of room in speed ramping. And it really emphasizes the effect when you are speed ramping from super fast to slowing it down, and then super fast again. Hence the name speed ramp. It's not like a speed cliff, it's a speed ramp. So it ramps up and then ramps down. Alright, so I'll show you a little bit of how to actually use a speed ramp, and maybe there are some things that you don't know about speed ramping. We'll use this clip from the reception of this wedding. I'll put my in and out points. So I'll put my in and out point right, or my in point right here, and then I want it to like slow down when it gets to that part, then out right here. So the way I always like to do my speed ramp, if I do want a part that's slowed down, I will find the part that I want to slow down, and then all the other points I will speed up, I guess. So I want it to slow down right here. So when you do find your point where you want it to speed up or slow down, hit Shift B, and that breaks the speed retiming. And then however much you want to slow it down, probably right there, Shift B again. And then you'll see I have two parts, or three parts. I have this third, this middle third, and then this last third. Depending on how much you want to slow it down, since I shot this in 60 frames per second, I could slow it down all the way to 40. And then depending on how much I want to really speed up the other parts, I can. And you can see that was way too fast. Maybe, see, again, that's why you don't really use speed ramps for wedding films, but you could definitely like speed it up a little bit and just get it to with the beat. But I mean, that's an example of how I would use it in a wedding film, specifically just the dancing part. I don't really use it for anything else, just because that's not how I edit my wedding films. And then again, it is more emphasized when you add more sound design, and it matches well with the music that you have overlaid. But if this was like, for instance, a 120 frames per second clip, I could slow it all the way down to 20%. It's gonna look super choppy, but we will see how it looks in terms of like how it's super slowed down. It's gonna skip some frames for sure. Maybe you could Optical Flow, see if that does anything. Optical Flow can usually save you a lot, but I mean, it's not something you want to rely on, especially for speed ramps, just because, I mean, if you have a lot of movement, it's gonna look super weird. But you could always give it a shot, try to fix it if you can. But 9 times out of 10, you'd probably be better off just shooting in the correct frames per second. Now that it's rendered out, let's see if Optical Flow did any justice to filling in those frames. See, as you can tell, there's like it's like a little delay. Like you'll see like a opacity kind of thing, and that's what happens when you use optical flow to like the extreme. I mean, you could probably get by with going like a few, like maybe 5% max over what your frame rate is supposed to be. So say you shot it in 60 frames per second and you want to slow it down to 35, you can use optical flow. It might work. Again, it might not. It just depends on how much movement is in the shot. So if you really want to have it, every clip be the same length, and you don't want to mess around with the like where to speed ramp and all that, or have to hit undo and undo again and see where you want to actually have the speed ramp begin, you could double click on that little part right before it transitions, and then source frame, you're gonna hit edit, and then you're gonna see this like movie tape icon, and you could choose where to source part of it. So when you hit Shift B, you're hitting a source part or a source frame for when the speed ramp is going to begin, so to either slow down or speed up. And you could change that source frame just by sliding it left and right. As you can tell, if you put it to the left, it's going to increase the length of your clip. If you put it to the right, it's going to shorten the length of the clip. So use that however you want. Not many people know about that part in speed ramping. I'm pretty sure, again, Premiere Pro probably does have this feature. But that's just a little bit about speed ramps. Hopefully you learned a little bit. If you did, comment down below if you use speed ramps for your wedding films. Here's a little bit of what it looks like outside of wedding films. This is like one of the edits I usually do outside whenever I just feel like being creative and testing the skills out and doing other things other than weddings. That's gonna do it for today. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like the video if you like it, share if you're into that, consider subscribe if you're not already, and hit that bell notification to stay up to date when I post new videos. And as always, follow me on all them social medias at AaronTattooFilms, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.